This episode is presented in partnership with Airbnb. Baby, Memorial Day weekend is all about family, food, and kicking off summer. And with Airbnb, you can celebrate in one of the most loved homes in America. All right, y'all, let's dive in. Well, we did see you connecting with Stormzy.
Where is the tea?
Had to pop that out.
Anybody got water, anything?
It's such a sweet thing. I can feel
Thank you.
that special vibe.
We love each other.
Yeah.
We love each other so much. And we are trying to hang out with y'all. So whenever you're not booked and busy.
Yes, Hazel is a Grammy winner nominee. You know what I mean? I need Leo to get on her level. So he absolutely, and he is available today.
Okay.
I know she's an older woman, but
He's
looking for people that have made it in life.
Thank You Next with #1 and then 7 Rings with #1. Back to back. I was like, I think now I could take a little pause, but
okay, the money was coming in. So what were you thinking when you heard "And the Grammy Goes To"? Y'all, today's episode is fierce like a cat. I'm sitting down with someone who is like a soul sister, okay? She's a 3-time Grammy Award-winning artist, a songwriter to top artist, and an amazing performer, businesswoman, mama, just like me. The mama part. I didn't write all the songs. She's got Jaguar energy, baby focus, fierce, and finally shining in the light she has always deserved. My girl, Victoria Monét, is in the building. Let's talk about everything. And welcome to Baby. This is Keke Palmer. Baby, this is Victoria Monét. Hey, boo.
How are you? So good to see you.
Hair is eating, body's eating.
Yes.
Look is eating.
Thank you so much. Look at you.
Oh, thanks.
Gorgeous.
How's everything been going?
I
feel like last time I saw you was at the gold party and we took that fire pic.
Oh, man.
With all the girls.
It went viral. Yes, that was fun.
Yes, it was so fun. I'm so excited to talk about Everywhere You Are. Congratulations on this amazing book.
Thank you.
But first I want to just start with the beginning. I mean, you've been doing this for so long. I feel like I met you with Taylor and Ariana when we were 17,
children,
18 children.
Yeah.
So for you, what was your entry point with music, as an artist and as a songwriter?
Actually, I started with dance. When I was in 8th grade, my school didn't have a drill team. So I was like, we need a dance team. So my principal was like, if you can get the sponsors and the staff members to do it, then go ahead. So I wrote a letter to Coca-Cola. I started a drill team. I was out there teaching the girls. And then in high school, I was training under Jaguar. I was serious. I wanted to be a dancer. But I always wanted to be a triple threat. I just didn't have the confidence and courage to do it as a kid. And then dance gave me the courage to really step out on that stage. And
you know what that makes me think about? The first video that I saw of you, and I'm gonna butcher the name, but the video starts with you on a little balance type beam. And
ready. Oh my gosh.
Girl, ready? When I tell you that I watched Ready every day.
A throwback.
Girl, I loved it because I said this girl, she's talented. Because the song was fire, the singing was great, but also the performance, the level.
We love dance.
Girl, you killed it. So to hear that you started out as a dancer as well, I just love knowing that backstory because from that moment when I saw you killing it in that video, if y'all have not seen Ready, the real OG Victoria Monét fans know what I'm talking about.
She knows.
That video ate down.
Thank you.
Yes.
It was choreographed by Jaquel Knight.
Oh my gosh, shout out to Jaquel.
We met through this program called Monsters of Hip Hop, which was dance. And I was in the group with him. Paris Goebel was also in that dance crew. So it was it's just all full circle.
It's
crazy.
Full circle. Well, when did you realize, obviously you started with the drill team dancing, but when did you realize this could be a real career, that this was your purpose?
I would say high school, the end of high school, just really, really focusing on songwriting and starting to record my own music and write my own music then. I started with poetry as far as writing and then transferred into songwriting. And then I came to LA to audition to be in this girl group called Purple Rain.
Girl group is always the entry point.
Right? We got to be in a group first and then we go solo. Yes, but it was great. I just realized that I can't go a day without thinking about music, and it just runs so much in my life that I was like, I need to be on stage. And I want to do something that would allow me to do the songwriting, the singing, and the dancing. And that's artistry. So
now, I also heard you were a bank teller for a while. What point in your career were you?
Oh my God!
How did you balance that? Because we need that job to help us make the money so we can do the dream. So where were you in your career where you had to balance the real life necessities and then still following your dreams?
I was about 18
Yeah.
Working at this bank called Golden One in Sacramento. And that's the job I quit to move to LA. But it was great because there was some 401k that I already had saved up and like
That's right.
some savings that I could use for moving here. So it
Yeah.
was perfect.
I talk to people about that a lot, where it's like you sometimes think when you're following your dreams, you got to just do everything cold turkey. But like,
Yeah.
it's so like, have what you
Balance.
need to have. You know what I'm saying? Be an entrepreneur essentially, and take whatever you can from these maybe more traditional spaces that allow you to put money into your goals.
Right. That's always been the case for me too, even with songwriting. I was using my songwriting money to fund my touring as an artist when I opened for Ariana, to fund music videos, to fund the Ready. I was independent at the time.
Wow.
So I had to pay that out of pocket, and it came from other sources of income. So we got to always balance it out.
What was that first check that you got from songwriting? What song was it where you were like, oh, wait a minute, this is a career I can ride off of to help with this?
Well, my first check was actually in advance. And people will laugh if you know anything about the deals that you're able to get for songwriting. It was about $2,000 for my publishing deal. And I was like, yeah, I was so excited. Heck yeah. Super, super excited. And it allowed the girl group and I to share this studio apartment that was $500 a month. I don't even know if a place in LA that cost that much.
That's why I'm like, what year were we in?
2009.
$500 a month is a steal.
Crazy. But it was just one room for 3 girls. So just had to grind it out. You know?
Wow. And so how did you balance the dream of, because I think what's interesting sometimes, like you can be making so much money in one particular area that you sometimes forget about you forget about your North Star.
Yeah.
So as you started to continue to grow as a songwriter, I mean, making huge hits, like seriously. I mean, people don't, I'm sure they know your credentials, and if they don't, they need to find out. How did you remember that Victoria Monet is a star as well?
I always took the money that from songwriting. I wasn't going out to go get the new whip and then the car, the house yet. I was putting it right back into my artistry. So that was always my goal and my intention.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go a day without thinking about what I wanted to be on stage doing. I looked at artists like Beyonce and Janet and Aaliyah and being able to create that vision in music videos and tour the world doing what you love. And I always stuck to that.
Yeah.
So I used music and songwriting as that conduit to do so. It never really left. So it was always on my heart to do that. I think it just it took a certain process. There was an order of business that needed to happen. I think songwriting was that order of business.
You have a lot of patience.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what it takes. And I'm sure your relationship with the record labels had to have changed as well. Because that's something that, you know, anybody that knows like the trajectory of songwriting to music or anything that is a in-between way to where you're trying to go, people can box you in.
For sure.
How did you change your relationship with some of the people you're working with, whether it be producers or even the labels, to say like, no, this is not for this person's project. This is for my project.
Right. I find that when you introduce yourself to people and you say, hi, my name is such and this is what I do, they kind of get stuck to that vision. And you have to kind of, I guess, train everybody around you to see you differently by what you're doing the most. Yeah. So if you say you're a technician and then all of a sudden you're doing car sales, you like, they're going to, you know, associate you with how they originally met you. So I try not to blame people for that and know that, well, songwriting is really successful for me right now, but what I'm going to show them is that so is my music. And I just had to keep beating down that door of the stereotype that they try to box me in within. And just now this is what I'm doing majority of. And the narrative changes slowly but surely. Just having that grace with people who want to conversate with you about what you used to do only. And just, you know, making it current. Keeping them up with the current events. Like, yes, this is what I used to do, but this is now what I'm doing, and this is how I'd like to be addressed. It's like someone who changes their name. Like, maybe you knew someone in their life, like, I used to call you Pookie, but now you're... Yeah. And then slowly, you start to call them their new name, so...
And it's so interesting to me, too, because being in the industry, maybe this is why I've always known you as Victoria Monet, the artist. Yeah. And that I was always impressed that you could write, too. You know what I mean? Because I've always known you to be an amazing singer, dancer, all that type of stuff. So... was there a moment for you where you were like, maybe it's easier to be behind the scenes? Or I'll even say, what was it like over time seeing so many people blow up off of songs you wrote? Baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah. Memorial Day is right around the corner, and there is nothing more special than gathering with the whole family together to honor this important holiday. And baby, I found the perfect way to celebrate. booking an incredible Airbnb by a lake, and throwing something on the grill. So, y'all remember my winter ski chalet up in Big Bear? But the gag is, this spot is a year-round paradise. I mean, you're waking up to gorgeous lakeside views, breathing in crisp mountain air, all while the smell of barbecue floats up from the deck. That's the kind of magic I'm talking about. The space was everything. We had a massive deck where the grill master could show off their grilling skills, all while the rest of us played cards and splashed in the lake. And the game room, your girl might be a movie star, but everyone can catch these hands when it comes to Miss Pac-Man, okay? What makes Airbnb so special is how it brings families together, all with more space for the fam to spread out. Privacy when you need it, because you know sometimes the Palmers need a minute. And locations that hotels could never match. The Memorial Day that's coming up is time to create the precious family memories and moments in a space that feels like home. Whether it's a lakeside retreat like my Big Bear spot or any of Airbnb's most loved homes, these are the places where memories are made. This episode is brought to you by Saks. Spring has sprung, okay? The fashion is fashioning, and it is time to shed those winter layers like a butterfly coming out of its cocoon. Just like that, Saks Fifth Avenue lands on Amazon just in time to trade in those heavy coats for something a little more temperature-raising. From stunning Jean-Baptiste Valli pieces to fierce etro prints, every single dress, pump, clutch is ready to help you bloom into spring. Whether you need the perfect flowy dress for the spring weddings or some casual cool pieces for your weekend brunches or a new statement bag to elevate your whole transition wardrobe, it is all right there, Saks on Amazon. From women's and men's fashion to accessories that'll make your whole outfit pop, Saks is serving up everything you need, powered by the easy, seamless, and personalized Amazon platform. Now, y'all know I love putting some ish on, even when I'm in my businesswoman bag. This spring, I personally got my eye on some statement pieces that can instantly elevate even the most conservative of looks. Maybe it's a classy boucle, skirt, suit paired with some sickening Dolce & Gabbana sequin platform pumps, or a breathtaking printed silk sheath from Etro with some over-the-top Stella McCartney shades. Baby, I'm trying to give springtime CEO glamour, and Saks on Amazon has got me covered. Get the Saks designer brands you love delivered just like that, new on Amazon.
At first, it feels really, really, really exciting because you're a part of something big. And I do want to do things that help other people, even as an artist, like, you know, charity work and things that help other people's dreams come true as well as mine. But also being a songwriter, you're proud. You know, my first number one, I made this video to Bruno Mars' song Twerking. It was celebratory for everybody involved. So I was happy to do so. I don't think I ever had a bitter moment where I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a part of my story as well, being able to translate what someone wants to say into song form and communicate in that way. And sometimes in the studio, it feels a bit like a therapy session, and you want to be able to help anybody that you can really speak their truth.
Yeah.
So it's a part of artistry as well to me. So I always was like, this is really cool.
It definitely is, because not everybody that writes songs can do it the way that I think people like you do it, or even like Taylor Parks, a very good friend of both of ours.
Incredible.
You know, she executive produced my most current album, Just Keke, and being in the studio with her, I've known her as a friend, but being in the studio with her and that level of her artistry was absolutely what you just said. It's a special thing to see somebody be able to take someone's emotions and turn them into music.
Do you feel like because you guys had friendship before that she was able to understand you on a different level? Like,
I mean, yeah, it reminds me of you and Ariana. Like, it's like one of those things where it's like there will be no deeper match.
Right.
Because this person has this skill and they know the the context and the inside scoop.
Yeah,
of,
I agree.
You know, what this means for me.
Yeah.
What was that moment where you said to yourself, because I'm sure there had to be a moment where you were like, I got to put the pen down for a second and really just only focus on me.
Yeah.
What was that moment, and was it hard for the people that you were working with when they were like, when you were just like, I have to shut this door for now?
I think it was divine timing, and it was God for sure, because when I stopped and paused was when Thank You Next went number one, and then Seven Rings went number one back to back. I was like, I think now I could take a little pause, but
the money was coming in.
I knew it was eventually going to hit the account. So I was like, I think I can do this and take just a month to just think about what Victoria as an artist wants to do, but also perfect timing because she was releasing her album and she wasn't going to be in cycle yet. So it was just like that perfect window of time that just to make it happen.
Now, when you did On My Mama, like, did you write that right after you pooped Hazel out? Like, what was the timing of, were you in the damn labor room like, I put that on my
Yeah. Well, I was working while I was in labor because I was about to release a single called FUCK. So I was in labor. It was a 2-day experience. So I was just on the machines, just texting my team on the group chats, just working.
Girl, yes.
Yeah, that's what we had to do.
That's it. Period.
Multitask, always. Yeah. But On My Mama came after a few sessions of, I went back into the studio about 6 weeks after having Hazel.
Yeah.
But I was still breastfeeding and healing and all of the things. So she was in the studio with me a lot and with headphones, and like I had to take breaks and like try to feed her. And then my brain was really in two places. So a lot of the songs that I wrote when I first got in the studio, I was like, I don't like, my voice sounds different. It's a bit deeper, like just feeling those emotions. And my hormones were just obviously completely out of balance.
Mine too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's
that's
to be
what
expected.
happened.
But it feels so weird because like, damn, I was really hard as hell on myself. Like you think back to the things you were saying to you and you realize like, oh, it wasn't actually me that was postpartum.
That wasn't me. Yeah. I was a different person. Yeah. So I did need something, a song that spoke to my future self and gave myself an affirmation. Like, I do look good. Like, I need to hear that myself, and just projecting that into the future so that when other moms hear it, they can sing it. And it's just an affirmation for everybody. And it didn't come easy, but it came. And all it took was to show up. You just got to show up and keep being yourself and doing it.
Now, did you know when you heard it, this is a hit?
I didn't quite know,
because you've made so many hits. I mean, like, so it's like you know, maybe there's a feeling that hit makers feel where they're like, I know this.
I knew I loved the song. I didn't know that it was my one. You just kind of guess, and I don't think A&Ring is my job. My job is to just put up the shots, and then let the scoreboard tell me who won. But like, I really, really am glad that was the song that went, because it was about motherhood, and that was a journey that I was on. So it just was a God again. Like, I did not expect a song about my mama to be the biggest thing. So it was great.
I got to talk about the visual because it was such a huge cultural moment. Like, I think it was like, obviously the nostalgia, but then also like the current twist that you put on it, the look and the feel of the video. I think the choreography was obviously by Sean Bankhead, who is exceptional. I mean, what went into that video? Like, did you immediately have that idea? Like,
I did know that I wanted it to feel retro because I really, I enjoyed the 2000s so much.
Girl, millennials.
Before social media, before all the things, the pagers, the Jabot jeans. Well, I didn't have no pager, but like, I know, the older generation. I wasn't that old.
My older cousin.
Yeah.
I watched them with the pager.
Right. And the flip phones. And so I also love themes and costume parties and stuff. So I was like, wouldn't it just be fun to bring all that stuff, the baby fat back, and just the certain memories and nostalgia that you would see stylistically, but then with current dance moves. Yes. So I just wanted that vision to come to life. We did a lot of digging and Pinterest boarding to go back. And it's fun. It was so fun to do.
It looked like you guys were having a lot of fun. And then seeing Hazel come out there, I mean, oh my gosh. How do you feel like, I mean, you said a little bit about it. How did becoming a mother impact your artistry and the way you moved in the industry?
I think one thing motherhood definitely taught me is time management. I used to be in that studio for hours and hours and hours, 3 a.m., like no limit. But I think the 10,000 hours that I put in before taught me that I have to do the same great work within 2 hours as I would have done in 10 hours now, just to make sure that I can be multiple places during the day. So it really taught me different time management and communication. Also, I feel like when I hear moms talk about having their children, and sometimes the story attached to it is, I gave up everything to raise the baby, and then it becomes resentment when they're older. Yeah. And I never wanted that to be on Hazel or that to be her story. So I'm like, I have to raise this amazing child and be uber present, but also make sure that I never abandon myself and my dreams and keep this thing going. That's huge. The duality was super important. So she doesn't feel that weight when she's older. If I'm doing an interview and I'm like, I just gave up my dreams, and I'm saying that's not. We don't want that either. So.
And was there any pre-roll planning? Like, did you know to yourself, like, I'm about to have Hazel this year? Or was it kind of like, oh shit, I'm pregnant and I'm going to figure this. So was it it kind of came upon you and you were like, yo.
That pandemic and the tequila, girl, got me.
And don't let it be a fine man, which all due respect.
Yeah. That's how it happens. Yes.
Literally. And obviously you guys co-parent now, and it feels, I love to see that even the way that you came to the internet about it, it seemed all very like well thought out. I mean, it's never easy, I would imagine, separating from someone that you don't necessarily think you're going to separate from. But
it's not ideal.
It's not ideal, but you seem to have been handling it well.
Yeah, I feel like I'm super blessed to have a partner who understands that also that Hazel will eventually be able to see things. And
that's right.
He was able to, compose himself, and so was I. Any of the messy parts happen face to face.
Yeah.
And we're able to now easily co-parent. He's super communicative. Yeah. He has a great head on his shoulders. His mom did a wonderful job with him.
Love that.
Yeah. So I feel blessed to have that in a partnership.
Yeah. Well, we did see you connecting with Stormzy.
Where is the tea?
Had to pop that out.
Anybody got water? Anything?
And I was hanging out with him at the Met Gala, and I said, my girl Victoria. So yeah,
Keke.
My girl. He's like, yeah, she's amazing. Those are cute.
Yeah, he's a really special guy. I have so much respect for him, and I got to learn more about him by dating him. We'll have to talk.
Okay,
baby, this is Keke Palmer, yeah.
Tell me why Tropical Smoothie Cafe has your girl feeling more blessed than Sierra's prayer with only the freshest smoothies, bowls, and made-to-order wraps. Tropical Smoothie Cafe is serving exactly what you need to turn your everyday into a mini vacation. Now, they did not come to play, y'all. The naturally sweetened detox island green smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, it has spinach, kale, mango, pineapple, banana, and fresh ginger. You name it. That Caribbean jerk chicken wrap with the kale and apple slaw upgrade. Ooh, yes, honey. Eating your fruits and veggies has never been this fun. It's serving exactly what I serve at every Met Gala. Pure excellence. So go on, order ahead, take the scenic route, and earn rewards with the Tropical Smoothie Cafe app. Download it today or visit tropicalsmoothiecafe.com to find a cafe near you. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Baby, I have never, and I mean never, been more devastated than when I found out that some of y'all been sneaking around behind Domino's back just to get your stuffed crust fix. Now, you know us Virgos are incredibly loyal, steadfast even. Cheating, especially on something as serious as Parmesan stuffed crust pizza, ain't gonna fly in this house. I saw y'all slide into those other pizza spots drive-thrus, ordering that cheese-filled crust like Domino's, and I wouldn't find out about your little rendezvous. But sweetie, the healing starts today because Domino's just dropped their own stuffed crust, and now y'all got no excuse to keep stepping out on them like this. It's time to put those pizza cheating ways to rest. Domino's new Parmesan stuffed crust is serving pure decadence with that buttery, handmade dough wrapped around a cascading stream of 100% melty goodness. These are the cheese pools of your dreams. It's very much a Goofy movie level of ooey gooey cheesy deliciousness. And of course, your girl can't forget about that signature garlic seasoning and Parmesan sprinkle dance on top of that perfectly baked crust, making every single taste like it was blessed by the pizza gods themselves. You can think about it now. I'm already imagining the parm stuffed pie I've been plotting on. Next time I'm placing my order, you best believe I'm having mushrooms, grilled onions, and some extra peppers just to, keep the vegetables on top. Now, this is the kind of commitment I'm talking about. No more pizza cheating needed when Domino's is bringing this level of excellence to the table. Order Domino's new Parmesan stuffed crust pizza on the Domino's app and use code Keke to get any 3-topping Parmesan stuffed crust pizza for $11.99. Price is higher for some locations. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary. Delivery orders subject to local stores' delivery charge. Holla at your girl. But it was cute to see y'all together.
Yeah, it was my first. I felt so deeply for him, and we didn't even get together yet. Like, the internet doesn't know, but the first time that you saw us in that picture, if you've seen that viral picture, that's the first time of us really hanging out hard, like in his city. So I was like, oh my God, it's everywhere before we're even starting. So
And that
That
can
was
be a
interesting
lot
to navigate. Yeah.
You know, especially like, I've never really dated anybody in the press. I'm not sure how much of dating people in the industry you've done, but it's so crazy how
Not that.
when two celebrities get together, it becomes such a thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was difficult, or
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, because we would have wanted to announce on our own time when
Yeah.
everything was official and, roll out the red carpet for everybody to see it when it's developed at the perfect state. But that was just the beginning. So we were like, oh my God. The rest of but we had a blast together.
Yeah.
We had such great time. I think there's mutual respect there and support and no bad blood, always love.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had nothing but great things to say about you.
And I feel the same.
You've also spoken about being bisexual. I don't know if you would call yourself bisexual or fluid, but you've spoken about that as well, which I think now we're in a different time. People are more open to talk about the dualities of who they are.
Yeah.
But what made you feel like that was something you wanted to share? Because people don't have to share, but you did.
I was conflicted a lot of the time, a lot of my life about it because growing up in church is restricted and
I get it.
You can't, you can't talk about that and we don't do that and it's like something wrong with you.
Yeah.
But coming to LA, I feel like I found a great community of people who are supportive and have those same characteristics. So I was like, okay, felt more empowered to do so. Yeah. And also to tell my truth. I felt like a weight was lifted and my aura changed as soon as I was able to tell my truth. And I wanted to keep that in even my artistry, making sure that the pronouns that I'm using are, if I'm going to talk about a woman, it's she. I don't have to be like he if the song's about a female. So I think it kind of just came out.
Yeah.
I couldn't hold it any longer. And I think that's just a part of being authentic and true to ourselves. And
I think as a young woman and as a Black woman, and like you said, as a faithful woman, all these things sit on top of us and they sometimes stop us from bringing the nuance that we're supposed to bring to those spaces. Right. So I love that, whatever you did, you sharing it, that you felt comfortable to, because I do think it shows people that you can be all those things. You can be a Christian, you can be Black, you can be a woman, you could be this, you could be that, and that.
Yeah.
And it's not a big deal.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's okay to share. So.
Yeah. What made you want to write Everywhere You Are? Because it's a book about separation anxiety, which is huge for any working mom. And even a stay-at-home mom, when your baby go to school, it can be tough.
Right.
So how did you come to wanting to write this book about that?
I think at first when I started working again after having Hazel, I was experiencing a lot of mom guilt. Being away and trying to balance your love for someone and your love for something.
Yes.
And your love for yourself and what you want to do.
Girl, that is so huge. I have a passion that I love.
Yes.
I have a baby that I love. And I have me that I love.
Yeah.
How do I split that time?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
It's really, really tough.
Oof.
But I have to say, you, my friend, are
killing it. Oh my gosh,
you're doing amazing, amazing. It's so amazing to see you balancing. It's like you're in a hat store. this hat. Like, wow.
Girl, thank you so much.
Amazing.
I feel like we're all giving each other energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh, you can do it. I can do it too.
Yeah, we're all being like, hey, girl. And it's like you're feeling that vibe because when I'm seeing you do it, I'm feeling, girl, for me, what did it with you was when I seen the abs. I said, Keke, it's time to go. Because if Victoria Monét has abs, I need to have abs too.
Yeah,
okay?
and do.
It helps. So when you see somebody killing it, like you kill it. So thank you. I received that because we need to see that in each other.
Yeah, motherhood is the best hood. I always say,
girl,
we
you ain't never
together.
lied.
Yes. So the book, I wanted her to have and other children to have something ingrained in them from young to understand that presence doesn't always have to be physical. It's with love, it's energy, and just kind of relieving some of that tension early on. Yeah. Because sometimes, and I love you and I miss you isn't enough. They need to read a book about it. They need to see about it. They need to see examples of people who are also having working parents, leave the country.
That's right.
A community of people who are experiencing that. And so the book, I feel like, brings people together and allows that message to be received.
I mean, as a musician, as a songwriter, language is such an important tool.
Yes.
And so putting language to things, I think, is so important.
Yeah.
And so the fact that a kid can now understand even what separation anxiety is or like what it means when mommy is away or even the mom being able to have this kind of book to be able to explain that to the child is it's incredible. What was the process like? You're welcome.
Yes, the process, I wrote a couple versions of the book and Hazel was able to experience all of them. So she kind of, I would judge it based on what lines she would remember and what she liked. And then, so she kind of was like an editor
Yeah.
You know, and I had the perfect audience, test audience in my 2-year-old, so it was great. Now when she reads the book, she doesn't read yet, but she knows what's on each page because we read it together so many times.
Yeah.
And she's quoted the book now. She's like,
Uh-oh.
I'll always be your moon. You'll always be my... So she's really remembering it. So I know that is going to travel with other families.
Well, the book has such a poetic tone. I'm wondering, did you intentionally make... I mean, you did tell me you started in poetry, so maybe that's why. But did you mean to make it kind of musical?
No, I just... Maybe it's just a writing style.
Yeah.
This is my first book, so maybe I carried some of the songwriting into the book worlds. But it was super fun to do. I want to do so many more. I have the next concept already, so...
Yes!
I'm excited.
I can't wait, and I'm taking this home with me.
Please,
even if you didn't plan for me to, because Leo needs. I was gonna steal it.
Honestly, I hope he really enjoys it.
So thank you for giving me the blessing.
Yes, I'm honored.
Also, I like this thing where you do in the book where the metaphor of you and Hazel is the moon and the star characters.
Yes.
They symbolize you too. What's the metaphor behind that?
Well, when I look out in the night sky, as a stargazer myself, who likes to just see the sunsets and just see the sky. Sometimes when you look out in the sky, you don't see the moon from where you're standing, but you know logically as an adult that it is there. And so I wanted her to have that metaphor, something that she could see. She can go outside like, okay, I'm aware that the moon isn't there, but I see some stars, so that's me and my mom somewhere in the world, in the universe, doing her thing. But stars and moon go together. There is no universe where there is no star and no moon. So it's, it's a great symbolism. I feel like a kid can really understand that visual.
Oh my God, Victoria, you give me such a feeling of I can't say it with words, but this is how I feel. That's the kind of vibe that you have. And it's so sweet hearing you talk about Hazel. And I see you with Hazel online and stuff like that. But just, talking about this book and hearing about it now, it's such a sweet thing. I can feel
Thank you.
That special vibe.
We love each other.
Yeah.
We love each other so much. And we are trying to hang out with y'all. So whenever you're not booked and busy,
yes,
come over, swim.
Hazel is a Grammy winner nominee. You know what I mean? I need Leo to get on her level. So he absolutely, and he is available to date.
Okay.
I know she's an older woman, but he's looking for people that have made it in life.
Yes. Yeah, this is our girl.
How was that journey of going through that Grammy process? I mean, first of all, you've won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then having her be a part of that.
Oh, it meant the most.
That's the coolest thing ever.
Because the thing is candidly, when you get pregnant in the music industry, I don't know how it is, today, but when I got pregnant, it was a thing. It was like are you sure that you're at the beginning of this precipice of your career? Are you sure what's the rush? And you can't do both. And now we're seeing women on the stage pregnant.
It makes us stronger,
pregnant. Yeah, actually, all of my success, my biggest success came after my biggest blessing, Hazel. So take that.
Clark,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So she's the youngest Grammy nominee ever.
Yeah.
She's co-narrating a book.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's busy.
She's busy.
Yeah.
What would you want her to take from you, from seeing you do what you're doing, and for also you putting her a part of this? What do you does she talk to you about what she thinks or knows?
Oh, I need to show you this video because the other day I recorded her. She said, one day when I grow up and I'm older, I'm going to be a better singer than you and we can both be better. And I was like, well, what else do you want to do? And I want to be an amazing artist and a songwriter. I'm like, oh, so you really, you know exactly what you want to do. But the one thing I want her to take is really the perseverance and patience, and that wasn't one thing. Perseverance, patience, and
all of it.
all of it, and happiness. Whatever she decides to do, make sure that she's happy, because there's too many scenarios where people are going to jobs that they don't like. And I feel like if the barista at Starbucks actually wanted to be there, they'd be much nicer. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
do the things.
Because there ain't nothing wrong with being a barista.
There's nothing wrong with it. But if you love making coffee, make the best coffee and make it your job. Make your passion your job, and do what makes you happy. So that's what I want her to have.
Speaking to that sweet spirit that I'm hearing with Hazel, but also I'm seeing and feeling with you, how did you stay that way, Victoria? Because I think a lot of people don't understand how hard it is in our industry. And you're talking about being in the studio late nights. Yeah. I know what go down in the studio late nights, how hard it is. Yeah. You're sometimes the only girl. And people make sure you know that. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of work. You know what I mean? You've been doing this for a minute. How did you keep your spirit so pure?
I think it's God.
Yeah.
I think it's really God, because there's so many dark holes, black holes that you
There
can
are.
go into in this music industry. And sometimes you get a little tempted. You're like, well, they're making it by doing these things. Maybe that's what I need to do. But just remain you and remain centered with God and keep your family close. Also, I realize that the most humble and successful people who are sane have their parents
That's right.
or a relative or somebody from their childhood around.
That's right.
Still. So don't lose your day ones. I think that's a big part of it too, because they can remind you like, girl, I knew you when you couldn't even afford a pedicure. So don't
Okay.
play with me. You
And
know what I'm
that's
saying?
they knew you.
Yeah.
No pedicure?
Yeah.
Damn, bitch. No. So what were you thinking when you heard and the Grammy goes to
Oh my
Victoria
God.
Monet?
I've never felt butterflies like that before. I could believe it because it's everything that I wrote down and wanted to manifest, but also like when it actually happens to you, it's a crazy feeling. So walking up those stairs on the way, I'm like just thinking about everything and I'm almost hyperventilating. Like, oh my God. It really, like, you can't believe it. So it was amazing. It was amazing. I wanted to bring everybody who ever helped me on that stage. I'm like, you know, everybody come up and get your flowers too, because I did not do this alone.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't do it alone. So
I love to hear that because it's so true. It takes a village. It takes a team.
yeah.
15 years, you've been grinding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
I'm
long
an
time.
old soul in the music.
Seriously, I'm right there with you. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
and things keep happening. I'm curious for you. It's like, when you're checking off these things from your manifestation list, does it feel the way you thought it would? Like when you said to yourself, I'm going to win a Grammy one day, like did you feel like that new person, or was it kind of like, oh, I was already her?
That's a great question. I feel like maybe it's a little bit of both. Like it's a person that I've always been, but now people will recognize me as that person. They see me as that person. So it just definitely changes the way people speak and approach. Like it changes everything. It's like a verified sticker. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Like I've always had this, the same album that it was yesterday, but now it's a Grammy Award winning album today. So it does change a lot. But stay in constant gratitude, because I sometimes forget how many things I had. Let me slow down. I always write out my goals. And when I'm updating the goals, I'm deleting the old goals that I've accomplished and replacing them with new ones. So it's so nice to see what has actually transpired, because sometimes it's in the background, things that you wanted to happen and they actually happen, but you forget that you even wished for it 5 years ago. You're like, oh my God, it's here. So it is nice to pause and have people around you that are willing to celebrate those little wins with you. Like, girl, do you realize what just happened today? Like, because even sitting here today, I'm a fan of yours.
Oh
so
my
like
gosh,
I'm like, okay, this is what happened today and this is what I got to do. Lucky me. You know,
my
just
gosh.
pausing and being grateful for these.
I feel the same way. I remember just,
Thank you.
when I was doing Enemies video shoot and you guys came and hung out, and I remember just being us. That's one of like my memories of me and you, is like on the Enemy set. You were like, hi, Victoria Monet.
Yeah.
You're like, you was like, yeah, I just remember, and you were always with that wavy hair back then. You always
yes.
so
Water wave.
cute. Yes. Now you've compared yourself to a Jaguar.
Yeah.
Which is quiet, focused, and
Mhm.
striking at the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
What was your pounce moment? I'm sure you've had so many.
Yeah.
But if you could think of your most recent, what's or that's happened in all this most recent success, what was that pounce moment for you?
I think one of my biggest pounce moments was that moment going into the studio and just carving out the time for myself. It's like, okay, here's my opportunity to strike. I've got all, my eyes are locked in on this prize. Let's go get it. So it's really been amazing to have a team that supports that vision. And because technically what a publisher would say after a big moment of songwriting like that is like, guess what? Now everyone wants you to write their song, so you need to do more songwriting. Yeah. But I did the opposite. And it got me somewhere that I've always dreamed of also. So just really listening to your gut feelings, having a great team that's able to support that vision, and again, staying in constant gratitude. I start my day with a gratitude journal. I start my day reading this book called 40 Days to a Joy-Filled Life. It's talking about God. It's talking about what manifests in your life when you're grateful for what you already have. You can find joy in the littlest things. Yep. So just we're all wanting to have more. We're all wanting to have it fast. Instacart, Instagram, like now. But the patience and being grateful for what you already have, because that's what you wanted years ago. You are where you used to want to be.
Gratitude and patience. Those are such great keys to happiness, and never putting your timing up to somebody else, because you don't know where they're starting. You sure as hell don't know where they're going.
Right.
You know, so
absolutely
focusing on you in this era where everything is always built off comparisons, you know, it's so important.
It's tough.
You did work with Usher, and he's everything. What was it like working with him?
It was amazing. Usher is such a great mentor. He always has tasteful advice, but it's not intrusive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like critical or derogatory. He's just gonna let you know.
It's very wise sage energy, which I guess is what you really do want from an icon.
Absolutely.
Especially if they're going to give you a time of their day.
Yeah.
It's like, give me something for show.
Absolutely.
And I felt the same way, you know, whenever I've had a conversation with him, or, you know, something's going on in the zeitgeist, and he'll just speak to it real subtly.
Right. With the most magnificent words. I'm like, wow.
And then you'd be like, yeah, you really are Usher, huh?
Yeah, you're really that guy.
You really are who we've known you to be.
Yes. Honestly, that's how I feel about you. Like, when I see you off camera, it's the same Keke I see on camera. It ain't no like cut and you're just completely different, but you're such a joy to be around. You make people laugh. It's great. And you're so beautiful. I just have so many nice things to say, and I just want to hang out.
Me too. And we got to get the babies together.
I would love
that. So we're
that.
doing it. And I don't think you live far from me. I'm not going to tell everybody where you live, but, you know, we share the same teams.
Okay.
So I know kind of where you're at. And so we're going to link up.
Even if I wasn't close, I'd drive to you. So just let me know when is she free?
They're going to ship us. Okay. I hope you know the baby this Keke Palmer, they're going to see. They're going to ship us.
Of course. Anybody that I feel like we're standing next to, definitely dating.
I love you down, Victoria. And I'm so glad that you came on. And obviously, everywhere you are, I cannot wait to read this to my son. And everybody's got to check this book out. Congratulations on another feat.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Oh, this was great.
Baby, this is Keke.